Good evening. We're back home. It is 1:30 a.m. Not too late, but very late for some others. Gonna go to bed now, hopefully. Feeling happy and kind of still digesting all the wonderful memories and experiences and reflections that I had in Galway. If you've been following, you'll see that we got utterly drenched and soaked last night, especially my 13-year-old. Poor thing. All of us, well, not my eldest son, but my daughter, walked us home, me and my two youngest. And at one point we stopped at a shop and the 13-year-old pulled his hands out from his pockets, water coming out from his pockets. And we just presumed we were all equally as wet when I looked at my youngest and he looked half dry. I thought, how can this be? Anyway, this is no place for funny stories. It is a time for a sleep log. So while I was in Galway, thanks to the Airbnb place, and went to bed early because there was another Airbnber there who was a student and got up at very early apparently and went to bed very early. So I had to go to bed very early. Well, I didn't have to, as I found out on the second night, but I did, and that was great. So just like 7 or 8 hours, and I did notice that I did pop up both days at about 5 or 6 hours. And the first day, it wasn't, I just remember consciously feeling like, going back to sleep, just make myself, but I wasn't just going unconscious like I used to always do my whole life if I went back to sleep. I was kind of awake there and thinking some people have trouble going back to sleep, and that's what's going to happen to me if I'm going to keep having this pattern. But it was fine. And what is this wire thing? Oh, I know what it is. I think there's a crack in the screen and that's giving this funny kind of wiry thing here. Okay. Yeah, so tonight it's 1:30 and I feel naturally like I'm ready to go to bed. Never mind the fact that I ate 2 big bags of salty pistachios just a moment ago after I stuffed myself with a dinner that I made for the boys. Really good, my new invention, homemade sauerkraut soup. I know it sounds so delicious, right? But it is yummy. It's got big fat rigatoni pasta in it, gluten-free and organic, and it had a butternut squash and some lentils, and then this yummy kind of cheating because I used not stock, like vegetable bouillon, but I didn't want to use any of that. So instead I threw in some pink Himalayan salt and a packet of, believe it or not, organic miso soup. The flavor was with edamame beans, and the other one was called umami flavored. So, and I thought, oh, these 2 packets, you're not going to taste them at all in this big pot of pasta, butternuts, sauerkraut soup. But you did. It was really tasty, and the boys loved it. And I threw in some at the end after it stopped cooking. I put in the sauerkraut, and then I also put in chopped greens, gorgeous green, fresh, locally grown radish tops and turnip tops, which I believe are very healthy for you. Okay, so now it's going on 4 minutes now. Better say good night, and I'll see you in the morning, or maybe tomorrow night. Ihoai.